Federal government's Resilient Rivers water infrastructure program now has a lot of components under it. But the great thing is that they're going to continue on with the stock and domestic program, which we've been heavily involved with, and carried out the inaugural program for both the state and federal government, which is what we've done at Nap Station. Hamish approached me to say, hey, listen, you know, we're looking at a scheme, and in kind of parallel, the government opportunity had kind of come up.
Really the whole process, it began with Austin Goodfellow, and I sat down with him over a number of months, and we came up with a few designs. Need to be happy with what you're trying to achieve and where you're trying to get to, and so Austin was really good to work with.
Nap Station, roughly 85 kilometres of pipe, 40 odd troughs and tanks, a couple of pump stations. It's just about complete, and will make a massive difference to not only the efficiency in grazing, but the operation of the station.
Look, when you get into the proper designs, and it's probably a little bit beyond the usual layman if you want to get it right.
Through a government program decommissioning earthen channels, we went to a pressurised pipeline probably 6-7 years ago. Initially, we were quite apprehensive about how all this would evolve. We needed to get experts to facilitate the engineering, because we had no idea of that process. Within that, we contacted Darling Water and subsequently Austin Goodfellow as a designer, and we started the process.
So we sat down with him and Darling Irrigation and designed a scheme that's appropriate for us.
And I guess we kind of sit there as a bit of a conduit between the government and the landholder to try and just soften that blow a bit for them and say, hey, listen, you know, just leave that with me. I can sort it out with those guys. If you want to talk to them, that's fine, no problems. And we obviously have a little bit of a cultural heritage work that we need to do as part of that program, and we like to bring those guys in where we can. And look, from a cultural heritage perspective, the last thing we want to see is, you know, machines going through significant areas that, you know, we should be well away from.
And it sort of moved on to bringing in the work, and the Bernie Schiller, who works closely with Darling Irrigation. It's obvious that they've worked closely together over the years.
It's been really rewarding at the end to see a finished product, and you know, everyone happy with the installation, and I get a bit of a buzz out of it actually, walking out of a job that I know I've done the best I can, and looking forward to the next one.
Water access and placement within a paddock can have a massive impact on both production and grazing efficiency. This is actually a highly researched area with many variables, and is not something that is specific to any one farm. As such, there is a huge benefit from getting specialists in the field like Darling Irrigation involved to plan your water source so that you can get the most out of your paddocks and have the most productive pastures possible.
We had existing tanks and troughs already there, and we just needed some in paddocks where the sheep weren't grazing, so we put troughs so we could spread watering points around each paddock.
We've just tapped into a telemetry system. We're putting a telemetry system which is a tank level sensor and transducers throughout the system. It'll cut down probably 20,000 kilometres a year checking water.
With the telemetry on your phone, you know what's happening every minute of the day with your water. During summer, when things are critical, you know you've got that constant water supply.
Look, I can see a lot of people would say that, you know, pressurisation, you know, it's a pumping cost, but we've mitigated that by putting in solar systems.
We went with solar. The technology in solar is getting better and better. Solar's a lot cheaper, and we've had a number of windmills that went down, and we've replaced them before we got on to our water scheme with just a little solar pumps, and we've just upgraded those with Darling Irrigation to put more panels on and a bigger pump.
Stock and domestic systems are only as good as what goes in from a design perspective with the landholder, and as importantly, the product we're using. Quality of product, whether it be troughs, polypipe, fittings, tanks. There are particular products out there at the marketplace at the moment which we go to
and they are a go-to. We don't go looking for other stuff that's cheaper because we've seen stuff that fails. We've seen the stuff that's still there after 3 or 4 years, 5 years, no problems at all. And we've also seen stuff that's been in the ground for 20 or 30 years.
At the end of the day, you've only got one go at it. You only got one go of putting the pipe in, one go of doing the trough hookups and the tanks. Last thing we want is to be called back to make repairs or make adjustments to our installation or faulty pipe.
At the end of the day, what we're trying to do is get the best outcome for landholders and graziers, and very much trying to encompass not only water to livestock, but also to other asset, etc., etc. At the end of the day, water security is a really big thing.